Hello and welcome. You're listening to Busted Outdoor Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Landis. Alrighty, we are here in Utah with Kyle Douglas. Kyle, thanks for being here. Yeah. I appreciate it very much. We're here in your shop. So how'd you get all this started?
I used to work for another shop going through college and stuff, and then he ended up closing that one down, so I just decided to start up my own, and we started in my dad's garage. He has like a barn behind his house. We just framed in a little section out there and turned it into an archery shop, and then they built this building and wanted me to come into here, so I moved it into here.
Heck yeah. How long have you been here for?
Since 2020, August of 2020.
Oh, so real recent.
Yeah, they just finished the building in August of 2020.
Oh, holy cow. So, and it's a heck of a you got a whole outdoor range, your indoor range.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of outdoor range do you have?
So there's, it's like 100 yards out back of the building here, just like a flat side in range and stuff. And then they've got like the north course up here, which is kind of like a bag target course you can kind of walk through and stuff. And then they got like the 60-yard indoor range here too.
Gotcha. Oh, it's a 60-yard indoor.
Yeah, 60.
That's awesome. You got you got everything. You got selling the bows, you got the sights.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got the whole kit and caboodle here. This is awesome.
Yeah, we're kind of jam-packed in a small little spot, but we make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. So good deal. And you got some killer mounts on the wall. We'll have to show some of those later. So you're a PSC. How long have you been in PSC for?
Forever, really.
Okay.
I've been shooting them since, God, I don't even remember, maybe 13 or so. I was probably around 13, 14 when I switched, something like that.
Okay.
So basically ever since I've been shooting tournaments, that's what I've been shooting.
Gotcha. And you're young now.
Yeah, I'm 25.
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
young. You're young. Gosh. Started off running. That's awesome. Yeah. That is freaking awesome.
It's been a really good last couple of years,
yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I've seen. I've followed. You've done it really, really well.
Oh, thanks.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
On your target, on your hunting in general, that's everything. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I think the first time I saw a photo of you was sent by Doug. You guys were on, I'm not going to say where you were, but in Idaho.
Uh-huh.
You shot a nice 3-point. You shot a real nice 3.
Yeah, it was a nice little buck.
Yeah, heck yeah. Were you after a bigger one, though, on that mountain?
There was a couple bigger ones, that we were after. I think there was 5, I want to say there's $5 or something like that in that group.
Yeah.
And then we started shooting and everything just kind of scattered and took off from there. So we ended up killing 2 of them out of the group, so.
The Dougie's 2-point.
Yeah,
it's 180-inch 2-point.
Yeah, I think we ended up shooting the 2 smallest bucks in the whole group.
Gosh.
Kind of just happened that way, and
oh yeah,
it is what it is.
And it'll happen again. You've redeemed yourself a couple times since then.
Yeah,
you've made it happen. No kidding. Well, that is freaking sweet. So yeah, how long have you been out shooting archery, like shooting 3D? Or is that where you started shooting 3D?
I've kind of done everything growing up. You know, we started doing like indoor and stuff, and 3D and all that kind of stuff around here. I've probably been shooting like the bigger stuff, like the ASA circuit and that for 3D. I started doing some of those. God, I'm trying to remember. Maybe 2016 or so, 17, somewhere in there. And I started doing a few. Just going through college, I didn't go to the full circuit because I kind of had to pick and choose what I shot.
Right.
And I believe it's been the last 2 years I've shot the full, 2 or 3 years maybe, I've shot the full circuit of the ASA.
Okay. And doing really well at that.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So
you're getting known quickly by a lot of people. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been good. I've had a good run so far, so hopefully we can keep it going.
So what do you think is more difficult, trying to shoot ASAs or chasing a 190-inch buck?
They're difficult in different ways, I guess. Like the tournament side of things is not, to me, it's more controlled, I guess. You know, as long as I do my part, things work out the way that they should. If I screw up, then things go south. You know, whereas like in a hunting situation, you aren't the only thing that's a controlling factor. You know, there's
right.
10 million different things that can go wrong, and even just finding a big buck like that is a challenge in itself.
Oh yeah, and then getting a shot opportunity with the bow is even
it's
a whole different aspect.
Hard to put everything all together and make it happen. So it's really cool when it finally does. I mean, I just love bow hunting way more than I'll ever love target archery.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You think you'll stay in target archery for a long time though?
Yeah, as long as I keep winning. I mean, if I start shooting like crap, I might might take more time to go hunting instead of shooting target bow.
Well, I don't see it happening anytime soon.
I hope not.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you keep going up and up and up. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. So this year, it's been an incredible year for you for elk, for mule deer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been an awesome year. I couldn't plan it any better.
yeah. So, but were both of those? Was it Idaho mule deer?
Utah deer.
Oh, both were they both Utah?
Yep, both
Oh,
Utah.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only tags I had this year was my Utah deer and Utah elk.
No one was drawing very much this year. A lot of people I talked to is no one's drawing anything.
Yeah, and I kind of planned it that way because I wanted to put as much focus in that elk hunt as I possibly could.
Right. It paid off.
Yeah, so
And we'll see that in a
worked.
second, but it paid off.
Yep.
So, so your mule deer, did you see that thing like days prior? Or was it one of those like, oh my gosh, here he is, go get him?
Yeah, that one I actually killed the first day I found him.
No kidding.
Yeah, I seen him up in a spot that I've been in before, and there's usually a decent buck in there somewhere. And I picked that one up that morning. First thing that morning, there was another guy up there, a little bit up the ridge from me that I'd kind of seen glassing behind me. I didn't know if he'd seen it or not. He acted like he hadn't because he didn't go over there or anything. So I figured that was kind of my chance. Somebody else was going to get him if I didn't. So
Right.
I tried to make it happen on the first day, and it did.
Gosh. And he was bedded down.
So yeah, I watched him bed in the morning. I watched him, feed in the morning, and kept really good tabs on him. He kind of went in the trees, and when a lot of times when they get in there, you'll lose them. If you get them in the trees and you can't see where they bed down, you're kind of hosed. So I had the spotting scope zoomed into max power, and I was just watching for little teeny like leg movements or ear movements or anything I could see to try and watch where he went through the trees.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting in a spot that I could kind of see his body a little bit right when he bedded down. So it worked out perfect. So I had him pinned down pretty good.
How long did he wait till he stood up?
So he moved once from the time that I seen him bed until I got over there and picked him up when I was within bow range. But he only went maybe 10 yards or so. And then once I got set up where I could shoot, I probably had to wait him out for, I don't know, 2 hours or so before he
That's
stood.
really not that bad.
So, no, it's an excruciating 2
Oh,
hours
it's a
just sitting there
long
waiting.
wait.
Like, just the anticipation is absolutely killing
Right.
you. But, yeah, you look back and it's like, oh, that wasn't all that bad. But it
Exactly.
seemed like it at the time.
How far in were you?
Like, how far from the truck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe 3-4 miles, if that.
That's really not that bad either.
Yeah, I would guess maybe around 3 or so, depending on which way you go. I mean, the one way out of the trailhead that way is a lot farther than the other way, but it's steeper.
Right.
Hoof
it in there?
Track it. Yeah, I went up in there that morning, just left a ways before it got light and got up on top of the ridge by light and started glass. And then, he was down in a basin, kind of 3/4 of the way down in a basin.
By himself?
So, yeah, he was by himself. There was a couple other does that were kind of hanging around in the same vicinity, but not really together at all, no.
Right.
So, and there was a bunch of other deer in there, but they were just kind of all spread out in different places. So,
Jeez. And what did he end up scoring?
that buck was
Yeah.
198.
That's insane. Is that your largest buck you've killed?
Yeah, that's my biggest buck score-wise.
Archery equipment anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've killed a few other, decent bucks. One other buck in the 190s with my bow on the front as well. And
The front holds giants.
it does, but they're not easy to kill.
No.
They're so hard to kill.
Yep.
And, honestly, I'm not much of a score guy anyways. I find a buck that I like and I shoot him.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts after I kill him if I don't score him. So I just score him just for myself, just to know what they
Right.
are,
Exactly.
So
Is he not in the books at all?
no, I haven't ever put anything in any books or anything like that.
I wouldn't either.
Maybe I should, but
Yeah, I
I don't
wouldn't.
really care.
And shoot, that's for me. I don't care what anybody else has to see about it. That's mine.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 bucks now in the 190s, or is it 4 bucks now in the 190s?
I've got 2, I believe.
Was it 2?
Yeah, I've got a 193 and a 198. I've shot a pile of bucks in like the 150, 160 range, and then a few big ones.
Yeah. What's your biggest?
So this year was my biggest.
The 198 was the biggest?
Yeah, score-wise anyways. My other buck, my other big front buck, he's a big wide, like a 29 and a half inch buck with cheaters and stuff and big forks. And so he's to me, he's a more impressive buck, but he just doesn't score as good as this one does.
More unique.
So, yeah, and they're both just absolutely awesome bucks.
Oh,
I'm
gosh,
tickled
yes.
to death with both of them. So,
No kidding.
yeah, so it's been good. I mean, the last 3, 4, 5 years, we've started getting the front figured out a little better. So,
And that front will chew you up and spit you out. I've been up it a couple times here lately, and it's oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's some gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll look at it too, and you find good spots, but then it's chock full of people. So you got to just find the nastiest, gnarliest hole that you can get into because there'll be less people, and there'll still be people.
Yeah, exactly. You think no one else will be as stupid as you are, and you think, oh no, there's a couple.
Oh yeah,
there's a couple in here that are just as dumb.
Yeah, there's always somebody that's willing to go just as hard as you are.
Yeah, that's what it takes. To get the big deer. That's exactly what it takes. Get in there, get gnarly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, and the elk this year, were they I heard they weren't talking very much.
So I killed mine pretty early. I shot him September 4th.
Okay.
And they were starting to get going pretty decent. We were starting to hear pretty good bugles in the morning and the evenings.
Yeah.
Mine had 6 or 7 cows with him. Some bulls were still alone. Some bulls were bachelored up, and some had cows. But they were starting to get talking right when I killed him. So
gotcha.
I don't wish it was later, but I wish I could have seen what the rut was like down there.
Right. See what else they brought in.
But I wasn't gonna waste any time when I had a chance at that one.
No kidding. Well, if you want, real quick, go grab that muley. We'll show that real quick.
Yeah.
You can pop that off, and we'll grab my stuff down here. Just 1 second. Should have had Dougie grab that stuff.
There he is.
Oh gosh. Will he sit on the table here?
Maybe. I don't know if he'll stand up.
Yeah, we can turn this mic a little bit, maybe. Maybe. There you go. Dude, what a stud.
Yeah,
what an
cool
absolute freaking stud.
So.
And a killer cheater.
Yeah, he's got some gnarly bases, a cool cheater, big forks, just an awesome buck. I mean, everything I could hope for.
And eye guards. I'm jealous about the eye guards.
Yeah, he's got some good eye guards for a muley for sure.
Yeah, that is an absolute giant mule deer. I'd shoot him.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't think he was quite as big as he was when I shot him. I was looking at him, maybe 180-ish or so, something like that. The cheater put him a little more, and then I shoot him and I walk up to him, and he actually grew when I walked up to him, which is
I love that.
backwards of normal.
Like, oh.
Yeah, he got bigger, and I was like, whoa, that's a pretty nice buck.
Right, like, oh my gosh, my gosh. That's a 3-inch. 3-inch cheater?
I think it was, 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah, pushing 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mass on him is just insane.
Yeah, he's just kind of got everything besides the width.
So I guess we are backing up a little bit because now this is in front of me and I'm just still in shock. I saw him when I got here and it was jaw dropping. Now it's in front of me again and oh my gosh. So when you shot him, he stood up, you put an arrow in him. How far were you when you shot him?
I was quite a ways when I shot him. I don't know for sure. I mean, what the rangefinder said, and the cut distance is totally different than the actual distance. Yes. But I think the rangefinder said like 83 or so.
That's poke.
Yeah. And it was really steep downhill, so he's a lot farther than that. But.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know. It's India. I'm from Indiana.
Uh-huh.
So shooting something at 83 yards is like unheard of. 20, 30 yards is about a max. For
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got an 80-yard shot, just a chip shot out here.
Yeah.
If you're the right guy.
That's what I'm hearing.
Obviously, certain people should not be shooting that far.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in skill level on how far you should be shooting.
Huge difference. So. And then being able to talk to Dougie and like talking through like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm doing. And he walks you right through it. And so I'm stacking them in pretty good.
Yeah.
But stepping out at 80, 90 yards and people were like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you going to shoot out there? It's like, well, I'm going to try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm pretty confident with the bow out of ways, and obviously people just, you got to know your own limitations. And, I have kind of my set standards and, if they're past a certain point, I just, let them walk. But if they're within my effective range and I'm confident in the shot, I let them have it.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
how far did he go?
This one actually went a ways. Come to find out, my bow was off when I shot. Yeah, so I shot and I hit a little bit far back. And it felt like I made an absolutely perfect shot. I took my time, leveled my sight, I centered my peep, let my pin settle, and he was even slightly quartered, and I crept up right up on the crease of the shoulder, and then I was like, nah, I better back off a little bit. So I came back off. I mean, everything that I should have done, and so then, I was kind of ticked off at myself, like, why did I make a bad shot like that? I felt like I made a good shot. So the first thing I did when I got home was went and shoot my bow, and my bow was way off, and off by about the same amount that I missed by. It's like, son of a gun.
So when you say way off, we talking a couple inches? We talking?
Probably foot and a half.
Whoa,
like that. Yeah, it
way
was
off.
Yeah, it got bumped really bad somehow, somewhere. So, but luckily I was shooting a big broadhead, and it did enough damage that I could track him for a ways and get another one in him. And
so you had to put 2 in him?
Yeah, I ended up shooting him another time. I just stayed on him, and I knew I was probably going to have to, so I just stayed on the blood and didn't give up. I was tracking pinpricks for a little while.
Oh my gosh.
Like one little teeny tiny dot every 20 yards, and just trying to follow footprints and getting on the wrong trail. And finally got it kind of lined out, and he started bleeding a little better, and then I was able to stay on him pretty good.
Just want to puke. Hands and knees crawling, you're ready to puke.
Yeah, not proud of the shot on that one, but at least it made me feel a little bit better that the bow was off. But I guess that's still my responsibility. I just
things happen.
Check it that morning in the dark before I went. And I don't know if it got bumped like the last night before that I went out or what happened. But
so you still haven't figured out what happened to it, like how?
I don't know. I just sighted it back in, and it's been fine.
Golly.
Yeah. So.
Man, so let's talk about your setup a little bit. What are you shooting for your target bows?
For target bows, I'm running I've been shooting the PSC Citation 36. Now they just came out with the new Dominator.
Okay.
The Dominator Duo, so that's what I'll be shooting.
Nice.
Now. What
sights you throw on those?
I'm running Excel sights.
The Excels, okay.
Yeah.
So I've never shot those.
Yeah.
I shot the Spot Hogs and the HHA, is that what that's called?
Uh-huh.
I've shot those a little bit. I love my Spot Hog.
Yeah. Yeah, Spot Hog makes a good sight. I mean, everybody's
They're
making
heavy,
a good sight. I really like the adjustments on the Excel. They have super finite adjustments, and their clicks are really nice and stuff.
Are they? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That would be real nice.
So.
What are you shooting on the hunting bow?
Same thing.
Okay.
Obviously I'm shooting the Achieve, the tournament sight on the target bow, and then I'm shooting the landslide on my hunting bow.
Okay.
So.
You're shooting what is your hunting bow?
It is a PSC Evo XF 33.
The Evos.
Mm-hmm.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
I haven't shot a PSC in years. When it very first came out, the X-Force was the first time I shot one. I was mind blown by how fast that bow was.
Yeah, they've always been kind of like a performance company. They try and keep a smooth comfort bow.
Oh yeah.
While still keeping the performance side of thing there, not sacrificing speed for comfort.
I haven't heard a bad thing about them.
Yeah, they've been really good bows. These last handful of years, since they came out with the Evolve Cam, everybody's been really liking them. Obviously, I've been shooting them for forever, but yeah, they're making really solid bows.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And you still a lot of them?
Yeah, we go through a bunch of bows.
That's fantastic.
On the PSCs especially. That
is fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Man. So I'll try to get Dougie or Jonathan to grab that elk here in a second, but we can leave them on the table just for show, I guess, for a little bit. So that elk, now we're going to jump forward a little bit, roll over the place. So you got in there. Tell me about that elk.
Yeah, so that one was a fun hunt. I went down on the opener. I stayed down there for like 4 days or so. Got on a really big bull opening morning, and he slipped away on me. I thought that we had him bedded in one little strip of pines. And I get all the way, put a big stalk on him, get clear across the cane up on the other side, and couldn't pick him out when I got over there, and never could turn him up. So I don't know if he just snuck out of there when we weren't looking or what. But I had my brother helping me spot, and then my dad and some other buddies up on top looking as well, and nobody ever seen where he went. He just kind of slipped out of there and got away. And then I never really did see any super big bulls after that for the next couple days. I mean, I seen some decent bulls, some 340s, maybe pushing 350, and a bunch of smaller 6 points and stuff. Right. But I was really looking for kind of that next level up bull, at least at the start of the hunt anyways. And then I actually had to leave and go to a tournament. I had a tournament the second weekend of the hunt. Yeah. Bad timing, terrible timing. No
kidding. Had to get off the mountain like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I went. I was trying to practice with my target bow during the middle of the day when we weren't hunting.
Oh,
so
no
I could
kidding.
Be ready for the tournament.
You brought it up on the mountain with you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I was super frustrated to have to leave and go there. But I went to the tournament, came back, and then
how'd you do?
A day or two at home. I shot pretty good. I think there's 2 tournaments that same weekend at the same place. I ended up second in both.
Nice. That's second's good.
So
Second's
it's good,
real
but
good.
It's not winning.
Right.
So
not first, you're nothing.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not where I needed to be either. But yeah, we went there, came home, spent a day or two at home, and then went back down. And I think I was 3 or 4 days in when I ended up killing him. We'd been seeing a bunch of bulls clear down in this one drainage. And it was just too far to day hunt it.
Right.
And we're planning on trying to pack in on horses and stuff and hunt it that way. And it just, the way that it didn't work out. There's not much feed down there, and not super good places to camp, and the trails were pretty nasty. So I just decided to backpack down in there, and I dropped clear down off the top. There's no trail the way that I wanted to get in there, and figured out a way up this cliff face and down the other side, and camped over in there. And then I had my dad and brother up top spotting for me because they could kind of see into the drainage that I was in from a couple miles away. And so I chased a couple bulls in there, one really solid 5-point, another good 6, and there was one big one in there that I'd seen the day before I went in, and never could turn him up again. He was the main one that I was chasing in there, and just don't know where he went. And then I actually I was gonna run out of food the next day, so I was in there I think 2 days, and then my dad had actually spotted the bull that I ended up killing in the next drainage over from me. And he watched him that morning and that night. And then the next morning, I ran out of food. So I decided, well, I'll pack out and go hunt that bull that night. You
were living out of the bag for that entire 4 days, weren't you?
Yeah. I was just backpacked out in there, just, packed in my food and everything. And,
you have a base camp set up, or you just sleep where you lie?
Well, I just took a hammock with me.
No kidding.
Yeah, I actually like backpacking out of a hammock if the weather's good. If the weather sucks, it's not much fun.
Right.
But yeah, it's just a lightweight camp. I sleep pretty good in one, and I'm pretty mobile.
Yeah.
So I had that set up, and then I ended up packing out that day. I ran out of food, so I went back up. I got back to camp, ate lunch real quick, and then it was time to go out for the evening. So I dropped down the top of the ridge that my dad had been seeing that bull. And we kind of figured he was bedded up one main draw that kind of cuts up the ridge. So I went just a little bit past that. There's a big knob on the top, and I kind of went on the other opposite side of the knob a little bit and set up there, and was just kind of waiting for the wind to settle down and stuff that evening. And then he'd been bugling, so I was hoping that he was going to start bugling again and, kind of go chase him from there. And, so I was kind of sitting there letting things, the wind settle down and stuff like that for the evening, and the thermals to start going downhill. And I heard a bugle maybe, 300 yards or so below me, kind of down the ridge in the trees. And it was off the back side of the ridge that I thought the bull was on. So I didn't think too much of it. I was like, well, I probably better go check that one out and see what he is. So I start gathering my stuff, and I go to sit up, and there's a cow walking out into the meadow below me. So like, oh! So I kind of hunkered back down, I was like, well, I better get an arrow and stuff. And there wasn't many cows, and the bull that I was after had 6 or 7 cows. So I was like, well, maybe it's him. And so I kind of got loaded up and everything, and kind of peeked back up, and then I seen the bull coming out below me.
The one you ended up killing?
Yeah, the one that I ended up shooting. Man. The one I'd been chasing. So and he kind of pushed his cows kind of towards me, and so I just kind of stayed put, and the cows kept getting closer and closer, and I was starting to get worried because there was nothing between me and them. I was on the edge of the meadow. There was brush behind me, but I knew if I moved at all, they were just going to catch the movement. Pick you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I never had a shot. The bull came out like 120, and he was at 112 for a while, and then he's in 100, and he's just slowly getting closer, and meanwhile the cows are 30, 40, 50 yards closer than him. So they got to about 50 or so, and we're going to keep coming closer, and I started to get worried that I was going to get busted, and they'd kind of turn the way the hill rolled. If they all had their heads down feeding, they couldn't see me.
Right.
And the bull turned broadside and started coming across below him at 85, and I was like, well, that's close enough. And as soon as them cows put their heads down feeding, I drew back and let him have it.
Yeah, you can shoot this at 80. You can shoot a bull at 85. No kidding.
Yeah, I absolutely pinwheeled him.
Did you?
So, oh yeah.
But he still ran a lot.
Yeah, he ran 250 yards or so. I think he just had that adrenaline pumping, and that's how far he made it before he ran out of air. I mean, there's good blood the whole way, big hole through him, and I couldn't have made a better shot on him.
Gosh.
So those elk are just insanely tough.
Yeah, they want to live. Will to live is insane.
Yeah, and you should have seen the deadfall that he was clearing as he was running away. I mean, there's blood trail just on top of these crazy logs that I was like sprawled out trying to crawl over the top of and stuff, and he was just clearing them.
Golly, the things that they can get through is just mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
You sit back and look at it, you're like, how in the world did they make this happen? No lungs at that.
Yeah, you try and pack one out with horns on your back through that stuff, and you can't figure out how they live in there.
Right. You got to tuck their head back and go. It's insane.
Yeah.
So you said big hole. What broadheads are you shooting?
I'm shooting the NAP kill zone. They're a 2-inch rear deploy head. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. So is that what you shot the mule deer with as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been shooting those heads for, God, I don't know, 6 or 7 years maybe. I've shot all kinds of stuff with them, and Just always had super good luck.
Yeah. Never had an issue with deployment?
Oh, no.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the last thing I worry about on those ones.
A lot of mechanicals, they're like, I think one blade deployed, one broke off, but the NAPs have been shooting true for years.
Yeah, I really like those. And to me, anything that's a rear deploy head is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
It has like that giant entry hole in case they don't get an exit hole or something like that. You know, you hit an offside shoulder and you don't poke out the other side. I want that big hole just to start pumping blood out.
Once you start filling up inside, you run out and then you find your deer a month later.
Yeah, I've been so happy with those heads. And the biggest thing for me is being able to practice with them. And they actually come with a practice weight. So you pull one of the blades out of one of the ferrules, and then you put the weight in, and that will fly identical to what the broadhead does. Yeah, so I sight in with those, so I know I'm absolutely dialed, because a lot of times you got to waste a pack of broadheads to sight in.
Yep, I always do.
Yeah, so I just keep some practice heads laying around, and I know I'm absolutely dialed, and I can shoot them, wherever I'm at camp or whatever. I just pull out practice heads and shoot them, and we're good to go.
That's perfect. You know exactly where you're both shooting with that broadhead. That's the key.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've seen practice with the field point, set in the field point, and they go shoot a broadhead, and it's like 8 inches off. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. To me, accuracy is everything. I will not sacrifice anything for accuracy.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, all these guys get into like, what's the best arrow and broadhead and blah, blah. And I'm like, well, the first thing that I ever think of is the most accurate setup. If I had to shoot the smallest fixed blade out there, but I knew it was going to hit good, I'd shoot that all day, every day over an expandable that was going who knows where.
Yep, exactly. Knowing what your bow shoots and how well it shoots. Mm-hmm. So what arrows do you shoot?
I shoot gold tips.
Gold tips.
So, yeah, for hunting, I've been running the air strikes for the last 10
years. I
just
got a dozen of those.
Yeah, and they've been really solid. So
They're a skinny diameter, light, but they're lightning fast.
Yeah, they shoot really good. I like those because the shaft is pretty light. You got like an ultralight shaft that's a 204 diameter, and then your insert, I'm shooting the 250s, and the insert weighs about 45 grains.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I threw a 100 grain head on there, so I got like 145 up front. My total arrow weight this year was like, I want to say 450. I think it started out at like 430. That's pretty good. And then I ended up having to cut them a little bit longer, so I ended up at like 450. Usually I like to be a little bit lighter than that, but my bow was like 85 pounds this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so just to be able to get them stiff enough, I had to run the 250s.
Right.
So
that PSC that's come back so smooth, though. 85 just comes right back.
Yeah, it was zipping them out there pretty good. I think I was shooting them at, I want to say like 312 at 450.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was cooking.
That is stupid fast.
Yeah, it was a really good setup this year.
Yeah, heck yes.
So
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've killed a lot of good animals. I see where Dougie's over there talking to John. Get that bowl in here to show them your bowl. You want to grab that real quick and hang it up and just hold it up real quick?
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to get loud. Sorry to keep getting you up. Get him on the ground. Now, I don't think we mentioned yet what he scored. So we'll see. We'll pull him up and then we'll talk. Because he's decent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one ended up going 368.
368.
Yeah, so.
There you
Not
go.
bad, huh?
God, his backs are amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Oop.
So,
300.
That's the one I couldn't pass up.
No, heck no.
So, yeah, pretty stoked. I don't know how I'll ever beat that September.
Gosh. I don't know what I'd do if something like that walked out in front of me. And packing it on your back, how did you get over all those logs and everything? That's just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get one like that, trying to pack it on your back isn't a lot of fun.
No, gosh, no.
So, yeah, the neck on that bull is bigger than any that I have ever been around.
Really?
His neck is so huge. I don't know how the taxidermist is going to make it work. You might have to
well, that's what they do.
A little bit or something, but
gosh.
Yeah, usually I've got horses with me when I shoot elk.
Yeah.
Because that's how I normally hunt them. But the country down there it wasn't great horse country. I mean, there's a few trails you can get him in on, but a lot of that stuff you're on foot. So you end up just backpacking him out.
Right, and getting him down the deadfall, that'd been nearly impossible.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty trying to get through the deadfall. So, but I made it work.
And you put your effort in and killed a giant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was a hard hunt. I mean, I was covering a ton of miles.
Right.
Just trying to create opportunities, and eventually it worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got a killer bull to do it. So you done this year hunting?
That's my last tag that I have for now. Yeah, I've kicked around the idea of maybe running back east in November or something like that, hunting some whitetails or something. But
What state do you go to for whitetail?
We'll see. I've never hunted them.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Well, I've got 27 acres. Come kill a whitetail.
Yeah.
The Palmers come every year and they kill one. They both do.
Oh, yeah.
That's
cool.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like to try it sometime. Not much of a sitter is the only thing I'd probably struggle with.
It's some long sits, that's for sure. But my stands, I've got a stand 130 yards from the back door of my house.
Oh, there you go.
That's where all my bucks come from. All my bucks come out of that stand.
Really?
Hunted for 13 years, yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Killed it. My biggest, it wasn't a giant, 142 inches, 10 point.
Yeah.
So.
That's a nice buck, though.
Yeah, it is. And I've killed a handful in the 120 range. I think my smallest, I think 117 out of that stand. But yeah, good whitetails. A lot of fun.
Yeah, that's
lots
cool.
and lots of fun. But you can rifle hunt, archer hunt, anything you want out in Indiana there. So.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of cheating with a rifle.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, archer's a lot of fun. Yeah. Especially now we're wrapping up. Today is, oh gosh, what is today? I've been in Utah for 2 weeks now. I forget what today is. 16th of October? 17th of October?
Probably the 17th, I would think, yeah.
We're getting to, I don't know how the rut happens here, but Indiana, we're getting right to where that rut's starting to kick off.
Oh, really?
So they're starting to chase a little bit.
Yeah, lately, the last few days I've been seeing, I've seen a few bucks kind of hanging out with some does, not pushing them, but just kind of in the area as the does are. And then there's a couple other bucks that are still bachelored up and stuff. But they're definitely starting to transition a little bit to like starting to at least take notice of where the does are. Some of them. So.
That's it. We've been glassing a lot of muleys, and we've been seeing like 3 or 4 muleys, like does come out, and the bucks not far behind them.
Yeah.
So
they're
nothing big,
starting to pay attention a little bit.
Yeah, big ones are still laying low. We just gotta wait, be patient, and wait, and stay behind that glass a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah. October's a really hard time for deer.
That's what I'm hearing.
You know, they're kind of staging for the rut, and they drop down. Well, not always, but a lot of times they'll start dropping off the tops a little bit, especially if we get some snow.
Yeah.
And they get in the thicker timber, and then they just kind of hold up and get pretty nocturnal until they start rutting a little bit. So.
Yeah, just got to stay on it hard. This is warm this time of year for here.
It's really warm. Yeah, we haven't had a snowstorm yet. Well, except for like up real high. But like the mid elevation stuff hasn't had any snow yet.
No.
It's been unusually warm.
I've been at how high were 10,000 feet elevation. There was no snow.
Yeah.
And it was warm.
Yeah, it's been really warm lately, and that makes it pretty tough. Once it starts getting a little bit colder, they tend to have to feed a little bit more.
Yep.
And be out a little bit more to kind of stay warm, so you can have a little bit better chance to glass something up.
Well, heck yeah.
So.
Well, you're tagged out archery for bull, tagged out for mule deer, and I can concentrate on making the big bucks.
Yep. Yeah, I still got plenty of family that's got tags too.
Oh, do you? There you go.
Yeah, I'll be hunting all fall regardless if it's my tag or not. So.
That's just being out there.
Yeah, I just love it.
Me too. Being behind the camera, in front of the camera, doesn't matter. Just being out there, I love it. I like watching somebody else shoot even more than I like shooting something. I get just as excited or more so.
Oh yeah, I get pretty amped up.
Yep.
Yeah, I was up with Dougie. Was that 2 years ago, I believe. And he shot a buck up in Idaho, and I was sitting there spotting for him, and I was shaking just as bad watching through the spotting scope as I would have been if I was shooting myself.
Yeah. What buck was that?
It was probably a 24-inch 3x4 or something.
Oh,
like
yep.
that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Pretty nice little buck.
Yeah, a lot of deer come off. Good deer come off that mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, your brother shot a stud off that mountain. I shot a 155. You shot some nice dead 3. You shot a couple deer off that.
Yeah, I shot a good 3-point. I shot a nice 4-point, like a 25, 26-inch buck, but he just kind of had crabby forks.
Yeah.
He's a solid buck. My little brother shot an absolute monster. Dougie shot a really big buck.
192, I think Doug's was.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good luck up there. Pretty good little spot.
How big was your brother's buck?
His was 207.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just an absolute monster. I mean, everything you'd ever want in a buck. Just a great big old, like 28-inch mainframe, giant forks. He had 2 inlines on the one side.
We'll see if we can get a photo for that and put it on here to show.
Yeah.
Gosh, we'll try to get photos and splice them in so we can see these deer we're talking about. Yeah, I was blown away by even your 3-point. I'm like, geez, that's a good little 3-point.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad buck.
I'd have shot it.
So.
I'd have definitely shot it.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, good deal. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. So, but if there's anything you want to plug, I saw your apparel. I'm buying a shirt before I leave here for sure. I love the shirt.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the shirt. I love the hat. So.
Cool. Yeah, nothing too special. I mean, just Douglas Archery is the shop. We're here in Ogden, Utah. Get a hold of me if you need anything for that.
Yeah.
If people want to follow me, they can do that on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Just Kyle Douglas. I think Facebook is like Kyle Douglas Professional Archer.
Okay.
Instagram should be like Kyle Douglas 1 or something like that.
We'll put a plug in all that, put a link in the description below and all that so they can click it and subscribe. And
yeah, I'm not very good at social media, but I try and put a little bit of stuff up there.
Right.
So.
Well, heck yeah, sounds good. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And stud deer, stud elk.
Thanks.
Keep it up and still on the wall, giants.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me by here, your shop. It's been awesome, been a good time, and been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
But all right, well, I'm going to get back on the mountain, see if I can kill me a muley as well.
There you go.
All righty.